Hello, how are you? Welcome to my channel. I am Chitta Diaries. In case this is I realize that I never say that, in case this is the first time. But yeah, welcome. Today's video is very mellow. I just wanted to do, like an opening for the year. Even though this is pre-recorded, today is December the 27th. But I know I will have no time to film anything this weekend or New Year's Eve on Monday, and I really wanted to do a wrap up of 2018 and have a talk with you guys. This is more like a chitter chat. Like if you're new to my channel, if you're an oldie, you might be familiar with my chitter chats. But yeah, except it's for the new year, and I just wanted to talk. Beginning of 2018, I made a video which was very, like I actually watched it right before making this one, and I was like this, throughout the video, like I was just looking at myself like this. I had so much optimism. I was really going to try this year. I wanted to slay 2018, and I set out 3 particular goals for myself. I wanted to eat healthy. I do eat healthy, but I don't eat enough, and I have bad eating habits. I wanted to fix that. I wanted to embark on a fitness journey and make it a part of my lifestyle. I wanted to grow my hair out, as a new natural. And to be honest, the only thing I kept at and achieved was my natural hair journey. I completely fell off with my fitness journey because fitness isn't really something I enjoy. I just wanted to do something that was challenging, and it wasn't for me. It really wasn't for me. At least the intensity at which I started doing it. Okay, for 6 weeks or so, like I really kept at it, but for the rest of the year, like I just failed to maintain that momentum, unfortunately. With regards to food, it was also a fail. I went back to old habits very quickly. But overall, like I'm trying to pump myself up. 2018 has been quite the year. It has been quite the year. I have grown up. I have learned. Okay, I've learned a lot, about life involuntarily, about myself. I think I've grown as a person, and I don't want to just speak for myself. I want to speak, to chat with a lot of you, because I know 2018 has not been the greatest of times for a lot of people, even you that may be watching this. It's been hard, and behind the scenes of, lovely vlogs or lovely Instagram posts, not my own, but just in general. I know some people might relate to this. It hasn't been easy. It really hasn't been easy. And even just in your life, you may not have an Instagram page, you may not have a YouTube channel, but if you're around my age, or maybe this doesn't have to do with age, for myself, let me speak for myself. Right now, I'm 26 years old. I've had a lot of growing up to do. The goals that I set for myself at the beginning of the year were made in a place of naivety, if I can call it that. Like, I honestly thought life was that easy, and you just, write down some goals and you work towards achieving them. But life is not easy. Life is very hard. And I remember saying, these look like small things, and they really were small things. Life is so much more than that. It's so much bigger. Like I said, I'm 26. I'm 26 years old. And as kids, we go through this phase of being, some of us go through this phase of being sheltered, or being told everything will be fine, everything will be okay. There's always someone who has your back. There's always someone who takes care of you. And for us Christians, we even have God, like, just pray over something. God has your back. Like, God can give you something that you can't handle. If something isn't going on, just pray about it. It will be fixed, or it can be avoided, or it will be dealt with. We just have this cushion or this comfort of things going our way, having a certain level of control and believing that things will be okay. But that's not how life is. And of course, it wasn't just this year. Even, years prior to that, I have gradually begun to realize that life is not easy. And it's a very, very uncomfortable feeling, not having control of situations, of scenarios, and things not going your way. Or, bad things happening to good people, plans not working out. It has been hard for some of us. Let me not, I don't want to make this seem like I'm going on a pity party, but I just want us, to take some time away from, the glamorous things, and just acknowledge that it has been hard for some people. It's been really, 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 really hard. And this was the year, and I know a bunch of people have addressed this matter, and I also wanted to add to it, that I'm one of those people who also noticed that 2018 has been the year where almost all our faves, everybody had to talk about being depressed. Everybody had to talk about, this topic of mental illness. And I was glad that it was being brought up, because people suffer from it. People genuinely suffer from it. And yes, not just us females, guys as well. In fact, for guys, sometimes it's even worse, because I can talk about it. I can come here, rant, cry, or whatever I want to do. But I feel like it's, and like I was having this discussion with my sisters, and she mentioned that for guys it's harder. It's harder to talk about your feelings or what you're going through. It's been a year where this has really come up a lot, and I'm glad. Initially, I was glad that some light was being shed, and people were able to open up. People were able to get help. People were able to find communities and support groups to deal with this. That I was really, really happy about. But with everything, that's important, there's always ridiculous people, that want to jump on a bandwagon that they really shouldn't jump on. And how, like we all had this friend in school, or we knew someone in school where, for example, someone might have like an allergy, to something, or they get an allergic reaction to pork, and the skin, like breaks out or something, and they come back, like they skip some days from school, they come, they come back to class, and everyone is worried about them, and checking on how they are, and basically feeling sorry for them. There's always this one person who just can't handle that attention being given to someone else, or they want to share the spotlight, or they want to capitalize on that. And unfortunately, a lot of people went down that route. I mean, there were some who were genuinely going through it, and they helped a lot of people. And there's just some who took it as an opportunity to create content. And, for some, I mean, may God forgive me if I was judging someone who was genuinely going through something. But for some people, you could just tell, it just didn't sit well with my spirit when I watched some of these videos, which just looked like someone was desperate to make content, and they were playing with a matter that is very, very, very serious, and it was disappointing. It was disappointing, and I found myself unsubscribing, to certain people, because this topic is not something that you can mess around with. It's not something that you can mess around with. So, yeah, there was that. A lot of people, were depressed. A lot of people came up, and talked about how they were having a hard time emotionally. And the older generation looks at our generation and they think we're a bunch of wusses, and is it wusses? Wusses or wimps, and they don't get why we're crying about everything, I won't really delve into that, but I can talk about myself, or just, my environment and some of the causes, like I said, it's been hard, it hasn't been easy for most of us. Yes, we might put up a facade and whatnot, but for me, like the main trigger this year was dealing with grief, and not just my own, even just, friends or loved ones. That one was tough. Like, that one was a toughie to deal with this year, because like I said, you're used to things going your way. You have plans, you have, like you think you can pray about something and it will work out. You think you Yeah, but like I'm saying, you just expect things to go away, and they go away for a long time. Like you don't think life would do that to you. You don't think God would let something happen, and then it does, and you have a very very hard time coping. So that was hard. That was hard. Grief is, I can't even think of a word to describe it. But that's one thing. And then it might be finances. Like I know, like people have pressures, and it may be that people you went through this whole phase where you did well in school. If you finish, you finished university and you've been looking for a job, and there's nothing. Could have been a business, might have invested everything, in something, and then it didn't work out. And yeah, it's been hard. It's been hard for some of us out here in these streets. It's been a lot. 2018 has been a lot. And we may have hit lows and had no one to talk to. There were times where I wanted to do rants, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. And that's why I find it so weird when people, were capitalizing on this whole I'm depressed thing. Like, it takes a lot. And for those who actually did videos and talked about it, I commend them, because it takes a lot of strength to record something, play it back, edit it, and put it up. I mean, for those who are generally going through it, it takes a lot of strength to do it. And they did it, I'm sure, because they needed an outlet, one, and two, they're trying to help someone out. And when I was in a bad space, I tried, there's times where I wanted to sit and just do a whole rant, do a whole thing of I'm angry at the world. But I realized that it would be me just where I was already drowning in self-pity, but I needed pity, from others to just top up, and it wasn't going to help it wasn't going to help myself, it wasn't going to help others, because then I'll be triggering them, which isn't a good thing. So I hope that, I'll get to a point where I had solutions, or at least some sort of positivity to give out, because that's what people need when they're down. They need hope. They really, really need hope. And that's what I want to go into 2018 with, and just talk about the fact that there's always these, solutions that are given out. There's this huge motto or banner that says, talk to someone. Sorry, I'll be right back. My phone is ringing. Just a second. Where was I? I was talking about steps or something. Yes, I was talking about what people usually say, or the advice that they give, and what I would hear, what I've been hearing for years. And the first thing they say is talk to someone. And sometimes you really don't want to talk to anyone. Sometimes you've made up your mind about how you feel, and you just don't feel like anybody will understand. Because sometimes, to be honest, even if you talk to someone, it's either one, they might listen to you, but they just aren't qualified to help you, or they don't know what to do. So they'll just look at you and be like, shame. Or two, which is what tends to happen in the African context, is that people will call you an ingrate. They'll look at the material benefits or the material things that you have and say you're ungrateful, you have this and that. I mean, it's good to be grateful for those things, it's good to be grateful for those things. So, but still, it's not enough. It really isn't enough. And they would just, kind of rebuke you and be like, your issues aren't valid because you have a great life. That's the second scenario. Or the third scenario is, if you're going through a funk, or you're going through hard times, being depressed or battling with mental illness, you don't want to worry your loved ones, like the people who you'd want to talk to. You just have this fear of not wanting to scare them and to worry about you. Which they should, to be honest, which they should. But the thing is, even if you tell them, sometimes people get to a point that's further, like you've passed that point of wanting to get help and you're just done. You know what I mean? So you don't want to worry people. So when people say talk to someone, like sometimes it's not that easy. It's not that easy to talk to someone. And even when you do, you might encounter those challenges. But sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you get lucky, you open up, and that person is like an angel. And I did, by the way, please, remain calm, remain calm. Yes, I'm speaking from a general perspective that I feel some people might relate to, and it's also loosely based on my own life, I can call it that. But yes, when I went through a certain funk this year, I was able to open up to someone. I can just say it, my older sister. Like, I was like, oh, why am I like it's not like a big issue where it has to be confidential. I was able to open up to my sister, my older sister, and at first she was shocked, that I was dealing with some stuff, but it ended up being such a freeing experience. Did I get better? Not necessarily. It took some time. It was gradual, but I'm glad, if I had opened up to other people, those fears that I had of either getting rebuked, that is a possibility, that could possibly have happened. But when I did open up, to someone, it worked. So some people say talk to someone, sometimes you might get lucky and you might find someone who has a listening ear, because that's the thing. I'm not someone who has a listening ear to people's problems or to people's drama, because I don't know how to deal with my own. So how can I help someone else? I am one of the people who's just like, sorry, you know what I mean? So I was fortunate enough to find someone who was mature enough and wise enough and compassionate enough to deal with me and, be there for me. So don't talk to someone slogan doesn't really help for some people. I won't say most, for some people, it's very difficult. But yes, so right now I'm just trying to lift some positives. Me who wants to bring about some hope. Towards the end of the year, for people who may not have had a great year. This is what this video is about. Being realistic. So first thing, they say talk to someone. I don't agree with that, because sometimes you really don't have anyone to talk to, and it doesn't apply to everybody. But if you can find someone, it might even be a colleague, it might be a parent, it might be a friend. Sometimes you get lucky, and wow, I really hope you find someone who you can talk to. So that's the first thing. And the second thing that people will say is try and stay positive. Almost everyone says try and stay positive, try and keep a positive outlook on life. My friend, okay, this particular thing I may not relate to, but I'm just thinking, for someone who is literally hungry, like they are broke, they have no money, they have no one to go to, you are literally trying to decide whether you should buy a meal or save money for transport to go to work. People go through serious pressures, and when they say maintain a positive outlook, sometimes it's not easy. And it really isn't that easy, or it could be anything that you could be dealing with. Just like I was saying, dealing with grief. How do you honestly maintain a positive outlook? What's the positive out of losing someone? There, I disagree, and I'm just there's times where you need time. You literally need time. You need to deal with something. You need to cry. You need to be angry. You need to be upset. You need to ask certain questions. You might hit a really, really bad slump. But that thing of trying to stay positive, it doesn't work for me. Oh my goodness. Sorry, my phone has rung again. Where was I? I'm trying to think of what I was talking about right before the phone call. Yes, staying positive. It's not easy sometimes. It really isn't. The whole thing of stay positive. When you're going through a funk, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. And then what's the next thing they talk about? So the next solution especially for us Christians, is prayer. Pray. Put it in God's hands. Trust in God. It works for a lot of people, and if you're Christian, please feel free to go that route. I wish you all the best. I am Christian. I'm definitely Christian, and I'm not the most devout. I won't lie. I don't want to be a hypocrite, but I do have conversations with God. I do pray. And maybe I really should take that seriously. Maybe I should take that seriously and it will be the solution to everything. And I'll be and I will feel better and I'll be healed and fixed. But yeah, some things are just hard and inexplicable. And then I have so many questions. I have so many whys. I have so many buts, like but why did this happen? Why did you let this happen? It's a lot. But I do trust in him and the overall plan, but there's just times where I'm like, why did you let this happen? It didn't have to happen this way. And then the other thing is therapy. Therapy sounds great, but I can't afford therapy. Yeah. So I'll just leave it at that. But if you can, kudos to you. I know in certain countries, there's you have access, there's apps and stuff like that these days. I honestly think support groups are the way to go if you can't afford therapy. But then sometimes support groups are a bit like, what if you just find a whole bunch of people who aren't qualified and are just throwing pity parties that don't really help anyone? That's my fear as well. That's my fear about joining support groups. But there have been times where, I've been able to talk to people going through similar things and it's been very helpful. And sometimes even just YouTube. I have actually watched some videos and like I said, like I'll keep going back to those people who are honestly doing this to make content, and like it really doesn't sit well with my spirit. It really doesn't sit well with my spirit. But anyways, because how could you mess around with something that serious? But yeah, on certain matters, especially grief, because there's no rule book for grief. There's no protocol of how this happens or how it can be fixed or this and that. I've actually come across videos, and sometimes YouTube will just suggest something to you when you didn't know you needed it, and then it comes up. And I found videos that have been really helpful, like really, really helpful, So that helps, but then sometimes, again, you might stumble across those who just want views and likes and capitalizing on something that has become a trend, unfortunately, which is just sad. But yes, I think support groups, if you can find a good one, are the way to go if you can't afford therapy. And like I honestly wanted to come into this like hyped, but my energy has been finished. It's just finished. It's just like whoa. Let me try and lift things up. Let's be hopeful, guys. Let's be hopeful. What else do I want to say, really? The beginning of the year, like I said, I was filled with so much optimism, but life has happened. And it's been so uncomfortable realizing that I need to grow up. It's just really, really uncomfortable. And losing people. And seeing people lose people. And my heart goes out to you if you've lost someone this year. I don't even know what word to use for that. Like I said, and I don't know how to reiterate on this one, but it's just really, really hard losing control and realizing that things don't go your way, that you can't pray something away. Like, it's really, really hard to deal with. And I had a lot of growing up to do. And it may not just be loss, it may also be seeing people who would tell us that everything will be okay, and that's the scariest thing. When the people who are telling you that everything would be okay become vulnerable. It might be through illness or just certain pressures that come about with life, and then you realize that they don't really have everything under control. Like, you grow up and you start to realize that, and it's so scary seeing, your superheroes or just people that you look up to, struggle with health or just anything. It's a lot. It's a lot. And sometimes, it leaves people helpless. And maybe there's someone who's had that feeling of helplessness, and it's a really bad feeling. It's really, really horrible. And like I said, there were so many times where I wanted to come on and just rant and just use my YouTube channel as an outlet. But each time, there'll be times where I wouldn't even finish setting up my tripod because I'll just break down. And it wouldn't help me. Thankfully, in those moments, I'd either, have a conversation with God or take a nap, sleep it off, or just pick up the phone and talk to someone about something random. But remember I said like the whole talking to someone isn't easy? Yes, talking about the exact thing I wouldn't do, but just talking to someone or talking to the people that give me purpose and give me a reason to keep going. My family and my friends. Like I'll just call my mom or my dad because they are the reason why I want to keep fighting, to keep going, to keep moving forward. Calling someone, calling the person, that you're willing to keep pushing forward, something that helped me drastically when I was in those down moments. So instead of making a video and just ranting, at least I was able to call someone and just listen to their voice, and it made me feel better. It didn't fix what was going on, but it temporarily made me feel better. And I feel like that's another point. Find some purpose and find something to hold on to. It could be a hobby, a passion, or just having, your love for someone or the love that someone has for you, have that as your drive to keep going. Definitely. There were times where I was just like, fam, I can't see the other side. Am I ever going to get to the other side? But I am so grateful that in this moment, today is December the 27th. I'm glad I have gotten to the end of the year, safe and sound. I honestly didn't think I would at some point, but I'm glad that I'm on the other side and that I can be able to sit here and tell you to just keep pushing. Allegedly, they say if you woke up today, count it as a blessing. There were times where I just didn't believe that, and like I was just tired. I just sad and I'm not the only one. A lot of people go through it, and this isn't just a whole like our generation whines thing. Like I've said, I've listed those issues that are very serious, which is very, very sad. And yes, allegedly this, we should count it as a blessing, and there's something, over the horizon, there's something in the future, that we should count. We have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. We have no idea if we even see tomorrow. But if you have one day, embrace it. Life might be hard. Life is hard. Life is hard and it's not easy. But, let's keep pushing. There's times where I don't believe that let's keep pushing. But, I'm here to encourage someone out there and to just give you hope. This year might have been horrible and you don't really see the reason or the purpose for going forward. But think of it this way, there may be something really grand waiting for you in the future. You might be the next president. You might be the next, big person who influences a whole generation. Or it may not be something huge where millions remember you forever. But it may just be a thing where you have one more birthday to spend with your child. You have one more moment, a wedding to see. There might be a whole bunch of precious events and moments to just push for. There might be one business or something that you want to actualize that might happen, and it will all be worth it one day if you just keep going. It may be something small, it may be something huge, but at least, like I said, I'm saying that from a place where I know what it's like to be helpless and to feel like you've lost control and to just be miserable and not believe any of this. And I'm also someone who can be in a place coming out of that and let you know that, really there's something to look forward to. And we should keep going, if that makes sense. So, sorry if, this was too deep, but I felt that it was necessary because not everything is rosy. Not everything is slay this, slay that. Sometimes we have to be realistic. Sometimes we have to talk about things, that we're actually feeling, that we deal with 90% of the time and not 10% of what we show. I'm not saying go on a whole pity party rant and tell everybody your business on social media. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is I acknowledge that not everything is rosy and not everything is easy. And some of us go through a lot. But you're not alone. One, two, hopefully, stay strong during that funk. There's times where I don't want anybody to tell me anything is going to okay, because I know it's not. And it's true, life happens, but stay strong, you know, let's be hopeful, you know. Get through that funk, go through it, but on the other side, there's something to look forward to. Whether it's big, whether it's small, it will be worth it. I'm sorry, my battery died, but yes, let me just wrap up this video and say Happy New Year. Yes. I honestly don't know why I ended, but hopefully what I have said thus far has made a bit of sense, has helped someone out who's going through a funk. Yeah, I hope that you keep pushing, and you just have to, sis or bro, keep at it. Like, really, I know it can be hard, but just keep pushing, keep pushing. There's something, you know, positive happening. And if you want to, you can just think back to maybe 5 years ago, 7 years ago. Like, what were you doing with your life? What was something that you really, really worried about X number of years ago? And then look at some of, you know, some of the good things that have happened, you know, after that, that you can be happy about. I, for one, can honestly say that I can think back to 5 years ago, and when I thought about my life would be like 5 years from then, meaning right now, I have actually accomplished a lot. I have accomplished a lot, even just as a person, in terms of growth, not just, you know, material things or money or whatnot. I've actually accomplished a lot, and I cannot believe I have gotten to this stage in my life. You know, some things have happened a lot quicker than I'd hoped for. Some things have been delayed, but you know, for the things that have happened, I'm honestly really, really happy and grateful for those things. So 5 years from now, what you're worrying about right now, I'm not saying there won't be any problems 5 years from now, because like I'm saying, here I am 5 years later, and I've been dealing with some ish, but at least I am grateful. I have been able to see so many things that have made me happy. I have been able to spend, you know, so much time and had certain experiences with my loved ones that I'm so grateful I was able to do, if that makes sense. So out of everything that you can take from this, because you know, the main thing that I really want to speak on today is to just keep pushing forward, even during those hard times. I know sometimes it takes getting to rock bottom, like I have sometimes emotionally, actually reaching rock bottom, looking at the end, and then, you know, having that purpose or having those people that you love the most keep you going. Like, you keep going for those people, and then that helps you find a purpose. So just keep going, and then you will shock yourself a year from now. Of course, like I keep saying, bad things happen, which is something I have grown to learn this year. Bad things happen, but a lot of good happens as well, and you'll be happy. Those happy moments sometimes are enough, you know. Okay, not really enough. Yeah, but it's something. It's something, and you'll be glad you were there to experience it. The same way you might have someone in your life who's going through a really, really hard time, but 2 years from now, if they're still there, you'll be so happy that they fought, you know, to keep going, to keep pushing. And if you feel that about someone else, try and do that for yourself. And, you know, for yourself, do that for yourself, and for your loved ones, if I can say that. And yes, that is all. Let me end this here. Have, you know, a great day. I'm trying to think as to whether I should upload this on New Year's Day itself or before. I'll see. I might even just upload it tonight. Who knows? But have a really, really good holiday. Whether you're on your own, whether you're with friends, whether you're with family, I hope you have a good New Year's. I know where I will be New Year's Eve, I will be fast asleep. Because that's me. Like, these past couple of years, like, the hype is gone. Like, I just sleep. Though my mom could probably wake me up at midnight so we can pray to thank God for crossing over, which I would do genuinely and happily. Honestly, I will. But yeah, that's all I'm doing. And then probably during the day, I'll have like a braai with like my huge family and whatnot. But yes, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. For my subbies who aren't just coming, like for those who aren't first time viewers, for my subbies, thanks for watching. You know, I'm not going to promise anything for 2019. I'm not doing like I've just explained. I did resolutions last year, and life came and punched me in the throat. So yeah, my motto is Okay, I've been joking with my sisters because everybody's been talking about 2019 and what they want, and I've been joking about how my motto is just YOLO, sunglasses, and Joanne the Scammer's fur coat. Like, this is just me. 2019, like I want to just live in the moment. But honestly, truly, 2019, like I'm not making any promises. I just want to keep pushing. I want to be a better person, but I guess goals are important. But okay, let me first stabilize emotionally, spiritually, whatnot, and then get to that. Okay, let me deal with the foundation, the basis of what I am, of my existence. But yeah, see you in 2019 on this here YouTube. And yeah, I guess that's all. Like, let me stop rambling. Thank you so much for watching. Let me blow you a huge kiss. Okay, that was a horrible kiss. Apologies. Or maybe a hug. Group hug. But yes, thank you for this past year. And yeah, hopefully we kind of get our ish together and then to deal with adulting in 2019. The end. Bye.